Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today on this live presentation. On behalf of the Department of Nurse Education here at Del Mar College, we welcome you on this presentation. We are coming on live to share information regarding our new RN to BSN program. A year ago at this time, we were getting ready to graduate our first inaugural BSN class. In a month, or actually a few short weeks away, we will be graduating our second BSN class, and we are actively taking applications right now for our third class. It really does seem unbelievable to be at this point, having come on live, over a year ago and announcing that we had this program and we were about ready to kick it off the ground. And here we are now, getting ready to accept and build our third class. And we have some exciting news to announce that we are also have been given the green light to now accept 2 BSN classes a year. So we will now be enrolling students for our BSN program for a fall cohort along with a spring cohort. So thank you all for joining us. We are going to share some general information about our admission requirements. I do have some staff members in the background helping me out with some of this presentation. Here in a few minutes, you will also hear from Dr. Casey Mabius. Dr. Mabius is one of our BSN faculty members, and she will be sharing detailed information regarding our program. I do ask that you just please listen to some of the information that we are presenting. We try to present the most commonly asked questions, and hopefully we are covering some of the questions that you have in your mind. Again, we are the Nurse Education Department at Del Mar College. Sending their greetings as well is our administrative staff, which includes Dr. Jennifer McGuire, our department chair, and Dr. Linda Earwood, our program director. And as I mentioned, we do have Dr. Casey Mabius on with us as well. So as I mentioned a moment ago, beginning back in February, we opened up the application cycle for the fall 23 incoming BSN class. That deadline date is upon us here in about a month's time. That is on May 31st. As I mentioned a moment ago, will now be accepting applications for a spring cohort as well. That application cycle is July 1st through October 15th. So that's really exciting for us to share with you. If you are looking to apply to our program but didn't feel that you were ready for the fall deadline date, perhaps you can get yourself ready for the spring deadline date. And as you all know, I'm the advisor for the department. So if you feel that you need some advising for the spring deadline as well, feel free to reach out to us and we'll see where you are with your credits and what you have remaining to complete to possibly make that second deadline. It is a 3-semester program, a 30-hour program, and like I said, we've got May 31 deadline coming upon us and the second cycle coming upon us as well now. Who can apply? You must have been admitted to Del Mar College, so to exist within our database, of course, you have to submit your application on Apply Texas, and the actual application for the program itself will go directly through Nursing CAS. That is simply a centralized application service that we use, so it is an entire online application process that we follow. You must hold your RN license. Remember, we are presenting this information for the RN to BSN program, so you must hold your RN license by the semester in which you would start the program. You must have earned an ADN, which is an associate degree in nursing, or a diploma in nursing. Must have a cumulative GPA of 2.5 in your lower gen ed courses, your general education courses. I'm going to show a list of those here in a few. Certain classes we do require that you have a C or better. You may apply if you are within 8 hours of completing the core. So again, if you feel you can benefit from some advising, we'll be sharing our contact information here in a few minutes, and you can certainly reach out to us and we can review your credits with you and see if you are within that 8-hour time frame to be eligible to apply. Here on this next screen is the listing of the general core classes that we require. I'd like to draw particular attention to the left-hand side of the screen where it reads minimum C required. Those classes there, we do require a grade of a C or better. Okay, let me go through those quickly. We do use the Texas Common Course numbering system. So if you've taken some of these at other Texas colleges or universities that use the Common Course numbering system, some of these may be familiar to you. Those are Anatomy and Physiology 1 and 2, Biology 2401 and 2402, English 1301, General Psychology 2301, a speech core elective. We do take one of the 3 state of Texas approved speech classes. Those are either 1311, 1315, or 1321. Philosophy 2306, Introduction to Ethics. We do have students at times that come to us having already completed Introduction to Philosophy. We do prefer Introduction to Ethics. However, if you have completed Introduction to Philosophy, we can certainly work with that class as well as a substitute. Basic Chemistry, Chemistry 1406, and Microbiology, Biology 2420. So again, those courses specifically must be a grade of AC or better to be eligible to apply to our program. On the right-hand side is the rest of the courses off of the state of Texas core. These do not have to be AC or better, but do know that we will assign a point value to that class depending on what the grade is, whether it's an A, a B, or a C. We do not give any points for a D. Okay, so those classes are English 1302, Math 1342, which is statistics, Psychology 2314, which is lifespan growth and development, Government 2305 and 6, American Government and Texas Government, History 1301 and 1302, and a Creative Arts core elective. So you must have all of these classes completed along with one more free elective prior to applying to the program. If you are missing some classes, you can apply if you are within 8 hours, and you must have those courses completed by the time that the program would start. So the free elective is Pathophysiology, HPRS 2201. It's a health professions course, 2201. That course here at Del Mar College is taught by nursing faculty. I believe for the summer we have about 6 sections available. So if you are needing that class for the summer, in the summer time frame, it is certainly available for you to complete. You have an option here. You can either complete Health Professions 2201 or the combination of Education 1100 with Kines 1164. Both of those classes are 1 hour credits, so you would have to complete both of them. Please be mindful of the schedule. If you don't have pathophysiology and you prefer to take the other 2, make sure that you would be able to complete both of them in the required time frame before you would start the program. Okay. One more thing to mention here. Back in 2019, there was a course that existed up until 2019, which was Kinesiology 1238. If you have completed Kines 1238, we can also use that. It is a 2-hour course as a substitute for pathophysiology. I know that's a lot to remember, so again, remember that you can reach out to us for advising. So here's a recap of what we require. Remember, the courses on the left-hand side must be a grade of a C or better to be eligible to apply. The courses on the right-hand side are additional state of Texas core approved classes for a baccalaureate degree, in addition to a free elective. Okay. We rank your application on a point system. This program is open, to anyone to apply to that holds an ADN degree along with their RN license. For those of you that maybe went through our ADN program, do know that this point system is different from our LVN and RN program. We are going to assign grade points as we start building your application based on what your GPA was in your ADN program. Okay, so that's the point value that we would start with. And then we are going to add individual points based on the letter grades for the courses over on the right-hand side. So remember, as I said, these courses over on the right-hand side do not have to be a C or better, but let's take English 1302, for example. If you had an A in English 1302, as we're building your application, that course would be worth 4 points. If you had a B, that course would be worth 3 points. If you have a C, that course will be worth 1 point. If you earn a D in any of the courses on the right-hand side, a D in college is passing, but when you apply to the program, you will not get any points for that. And I stress that because I get asked that often, like, Belinda, should I repeat one of these classes on the right? At that point, it's a time consideration. I leave that up to you to decide what else you have to juggle before that application date and before the class starts, because it is a competitive application process. And of course, you're trying to get as many possible points as you can as, you know, we're building your application. Okay, so again, just remember, we rank your application on a point system. Grades matter, and you can always refer back to this page and also on our website for more information. Nursing CAS. We do use Nursing CAS, as many nursing programs across the country use. Remember, that is a third-party online application. You will not be submitting anything in person to us. Everything comes through Nursing CAS. If you have used Nursing CAS in the past for your previous nursing school application, you can always go back and try to recover your account. It is like any other program. If you don't remember your username and password, you can always try to recover that username and password. A few tips for you all is just to make sure you follow all instructions, use the help center. There's videos on there, there's tutorials. If we have time before we log off, I'll go into Nursing CAS briefly and show you where you can find that help center. Make sure you're reading instructions. I cannot stress enough, guys, how important it is to follow the instructions and present the information as we are asking of you to present that information. You can have the credentials that are required. You can have an absolutely, you know, great GPA, but if the information is not presented in the order that, or in the manner that we're asking of it, you know, that might require us to take your application out of consideration. We certainly don't want to do that. But I mean, there is a process there. Make sure you are updating Nursing CAS with your transcripts from all colleges and universities attended. You may want to reach out to them. Like I said, if you have used Nursing CAS before, and if they already have your transcripts from a previous application, I believe they keep those for a number of years. Chances are they probably still have those on hand, but you would just have to update them with any additional coursework that you have completed from that previous application time frame. Okay, for this program, there are 3 documents that you all would have to upload into the program materials section. Again, very different from what we are requiring in the LVN and RN applications. On this application, we are asking of you to upload a copy of your RN license, the immunizations that we require, copies of those records, those reports, and the core performance standards worksheet. I believe you can get that worksheet by calling our office. Okay. Again, the selection process, we are building your application on a point system, which is compiled of your nursing program GPA plus individual grade points of the additional courses off of that core. We rank our applicants from highest to lowest based on that number. If a tiebreaker is necessary, ADN graduates from Del Mar College will be given priority admission. Additional points to consider, especially if you're repeating classes, remember that we will use the most recent grade, even if that most recent grade is not the highest of the 2. So I always stress to students in advising sessions that if you plan to repeat a course, make sure that you have room to improve that grade, because if it goes backwards, let's say you have a C and you're eligible to apply to that C, but you're just trying to improve the grade and life happens, things get a little stressful and you don't do as well in the class and you end up with a D or an F, you now went from being eligible to apply to being ineligible with that particular grade, because our policy is that we will use the most recent grade when we are looking at multiple attempts. No entrance test is required. Remember, this is for the RN to BSN program, so we are requiring that you have your RN license. No experience is required for this program either. We are preparing you for nursing leadership roles. So we are not requiring an entrance exam. Again, we're ranking on a point system. Be very careful about making sure that you review all the information and making sure that your application is ready to go. Once you submit your application, there is very little information that you can go back and make corrections to. Take your time. We do not have an early bird deadline. We do not start looking at those applications before the deadline date, so there is no rush on your part. Just make sure that you are submitting an application with all of the information presented as it should be. For the fall class, decisions are expected to go out early summer. For the second cycle, which would be the spring class, with that application deadline date, I believe it's October 15, those decisions are expected to go out late October. Okay, one thing that I believe I failed to mention as I started this program, but as I started the presentation, but leads into Dr. Mabius coming on here now, is that this program is built for the working nurse. We realize at this point you are an RN actively, working out in your field, and this program is built for the working nurse. It's primarily online hybrid, and here is the layout of what the curriculum will look like if you start the program in the fall. And I will turn it over to Dr. Mabius so that she can cover some information here with you all.
Hi, everybody. As Belinda said, I'm Dr. Mabius. I am the BSN faculty member. So this slide just shows you a breakdown of the courses. As she mentioned, the program is 3 semesters. So what you see, if you're starting in the fall, the first fall semester 1 is divided into 8-week sections. So your first 8 weeks, you're going to take NURS 3350, which is transition to the BSN role, along with NURS 3301, health assessment for the RN. Those courses are each 3 for a total of 6 credits. The second 8 weeks of your fall semester will include NURS 3351, which is Introduction to Evidence-Based Nursing Practice, and NURS 3353, Informatics and Technology in Healthcare. Again, your total with those 2 classes is 6 credit hours. For your second semester, if you started in fall, that would be a spring semester. It is the same as fall. The courses are divided into 2 8-week sections. So NURS 3313, Comprehensive Patho, will be taken along with NURS 4355, Community and Public Health Theory course. The second 8 weeks of your spring semester will be NURS 4326, Legal and Ethical Considerations, and NURS 4160, Community and Public Health Clinical. And then your third and final semester would be over the summer for a total of 12 weeks. The 3 classes will be taken simultaneously. Those will be NURS 4457, Leadership and Management Theory, along with NURS 4161, Leadership and Management Clinical, and NURS 4354, Professional Project. So again, this is for the fall semester or fall start date. The next slide will show you will be if you apply to start in the spring. There's a little bit of difference in how your second semester is. So your first semester would begin in the spring. That semester is divided into 2 8-week sections, and the course lineup are the same for either a fall or spring. But as I said, spring which would be semester 1, is divided into 2 8-week sections. The second semester would be over the summer, and those classes will be divided into 2 6-week sections. So it's the same courses, only they're over 6 weeks. Your final semester of the program would be semester 3, which would be in the fall. And those classes are all 3 taken simultaneously over 16 weeks. Let me share some additional points with you. Um, this slide just shows you a little bit. As Belinda mentioned, our program really is designed around a working nurse. We understand you're all registered nurses, and so we're very mindful of your work and life and trying to balance those things. So for the most part, as she said, the courses are primarily online. And a lot of it's work at your own pace, although there are due dates that you'll have. You can work at your own pace. So if you know you have a few days off in a row and you want to knock out several assignments at once, that is certainly something that can be done. Faculty are available daily for virtual office hours. The dates and times vary so that, if you work nights, you can contact someone in the morning. If you work during the day, you can contact someone in the evening. So they vary, and hopefully, will meet your needs. And then courses, as I said, are primarily online. So at the bottom, you'll see time considerations. There are really 4 classes in the program that are considered hybrid. The health assessment class will be in the first part of your first semester, and that does have a lab component. So there will be 1, maybe 2 days that you come to campus to complete some lab activities. NURS 4160, your community clinical course, and your NURS 4161 Leadership Clinical both have 48 contact hours. Now, let me stress that the 48 contact hours are not equivalent to face-to-face hours. So majority of those contact hours are achieved by completing various assignments. Only a few of the contact hours will be face-to-face. And you might just roughly give you an idea, maybe 8 to 16 of those hours would be face-to-face. The clinicals are focused on the course content. So for example, community and public health clinical course, your clinical time that's spent face-to-face is focused on that area. So we have students that participate and go to the public health department and complete hours focusing on public health and working within one of those clinics with the staff and nurses. We also partner with another community clinical site for completion of hours. So it's not like your ADN program where you're assigned a hospital system on a particular day and time every week. The scheduling of those hours for both of those clinical courses can be done based on your work schedule. So we can I work with students to find out what days might be better for you to complete these clinical hours, and we schedule around your working needs. The professional project course in NURS 4355 is considered hybrid because we have 1 day towards the end of the semester that we meet on campus and do poster presentations. So that is your face-to-face component of that class. Everything else for that course is virtual, things you can do online. The book bundle, we do have it a little different than the ADN program if any of you went through our program here. We have a very small book bundle that is also through Elsevier, and it has about 3 books. And then you have a couple other resources that you purchase separately as individual resources. And one would include your APA 7th edition manual. If you already have that, you don't have to purchase that again. Another book includes your get-ins, which we use in our ADN program. So if you already have that, you wouldn't have to purchase it again. And currently, we're roughly estimating the book bundle is about $650 for all of those resources, not just your bundle. I think that's a lot of what I wanted to cover. Belinda, do you want to go into the scholarships?
The web address, guys, is nursingcast.org. I have a profile set up on here. I'm already logged in, so we kind of skip a few of those screens. But there's a couple of things on here that I wanted to point out. Up here underneath your name, if you click this little drop down arrow, you're going to see this option here for a help center. We cannot stress enough for you guys to please refer to this applicant help center. There's information here designed in the 4 sections that mimics exactly how the application looks. So the first part of the application is that basic identifying information about you. If you have questions about submitting that section, please refer to the starting your nursing CAS application. Filling out your nursing CAS application. Here you're going to see information on your academic history, supporting information, program materials. Please refer to this, guys. There's little tutorials on here, little how-to videos, little FAQs that they have on here, frequently asked questions, how to send your transcripts, submitting and monitoring your nursing CAS application. All of that information is on here. We use this application service, but our department simply, in working with this company, we let them know what information we are looking for, but we're not, the designers behind this website. So, and this program. So if you have questions, you can always reach out to Nursing CAS about any kind of technical issues you might be having. I can't answer those questions. I can certainly help you in analyzing, your credits, your credentials. If you have the GPA required to apply those kinds of questions, you can certainly direct to me. But anything about Nursing CAS really would go through them directly, and that help center, like I said, has a lot of information. Another thing that I wanted to add to talk about is, where do you find us? So I'm currently on the My Application tab. If you click over here in the Add Program, you're going to see this little search box, because remember, Nursing CAS is used by many nursing schools throughout the country. So if you come in here into the search box, into the filter, and just start typing in Del Mar, before you're even done typing, it shows you what we currently have open on Nursing CAS. Your first option here is RN to BSN program fall 2023. Remember that soon we will have that application cycle open for the spring 24 class. We don't have that up and running yet. We do have applications currently being accepted for our spring 24 application cycle, which is for the traditional LVN and RN program. Make sure you are submitting your application for the right program, okay? So for this one, again, you're clicking on RN to BSN fall 2023. I'm sure that soon enough we'll have, again, that application open for RN to BSN program for spring of 2024, okay? That's what really the top 2 things I wanted to cover regarding Nursing CAS. I do want to emphasize that Del Mar College currently does have the scholarship application open. It does close on April 30th, which is about a week away, a little over a week away. April 30th, I believe, is on a Sunday. It is an online application. I believe it will just shut down automatically on its own at midnight. If you are considering applying to our program, I would highly recommend that you submit your application for Del Mar College scholarships as well. BSN applicants are eligible for Del Mar College scholarships. So I highly recommend that you go on here. Application is not time consuming at all, perhaps about 10-15 minutes or so. We do scholarship workshops with our students, and it doesn't take very long at all. Once you're on the page, you would click here on returning DMC students or new DMC students, depending on who you are. And, it takes you into the homepage to log in and begin that application process. So again, guys, can't emphasize enough for you guys to go on ahead and submit that. I believe the scholarship, the foundation office, I'm sorry, I believe they send award letters out middle of summer. So keep an eye on um, your mailbox at home. I believe they send out paper letters, which is a little different, right, than some colleges just doing everything electronically. I believe the foundation scholarship coordinator has mentioned that they do send out letters to you announcing if you've been awarded a scholarship. Dr. Mabius can be reached by email, as well as myself, as well as Cecilia. I believe Cecilia's on the chat feature, and she's um, probably monitoring our questions, and Cecilia will also list her email address. We're all available to meet with you if you want a face-to-face appointment, a virtual appointment, phone appointment. Communicate with us by email. We are available in all of those platforms. This is how you can reach us. Dr. Mabius can be reached at cmabius@delmar.edu. I'm Belinda. I'm the advisor for the department. You can reach me via email at bmunoz20@delmar.edu and let me know what kind of an appointment you would like.
Any questions, send us an email.
Okay. Quickly looking at my notes, I think we've covered everything. So, you know, as I said, as we first started, we are a few weeks away. You know, we'll be um, getting ready for graduation for May. You know, pretty soon we'll be graduating our second BSN class. We are actively taking applications for our third class. We will soon have nursing CAS open, up and running for applications for our fourth RN to BSN class. So truly exciting times to be a part of all of this unveiling here at Del Mar College. The nursing profession is surely looking for highly skilled nurses, trained nurses. I know the profession is wanting more BSNs, you know, out on the floors and out in the field. So if you have any questions regarding our program, please reach out to Dr. Mabius and I. We're available to answer any questions. Remember, you know, as I said, this program is very different from our traditional ADN program in that this program is built for the working nurse. So we highly encourage you to take a look at our program, reach out to us if there's any other information that we can provide. We are certainly available and ready to assist you. So again, on behalf of the Department of Nurse Education here at Del Mar College, Dr. McGuad, Dr. Earwood, Dr. Mabius, Belinda, myself, the advisor, and Cecilia, our other nurse education advisor, we are all here and willing and ready to help you all embark on this journey, taking your nursing career to the next level. If there's anything else that we can help you with, please reach out to us. Thank you and have a great day.